Okay, hello everyone. Wow. How's it going? Press 1 if you can hear me. Alright, sweet. Okay, I hope you had an awesome Monday. Who hates Monday? Press... Oh, there's a 2 again. I've seen this the second time. I asked you people to press 1 and some person just keeps pressing 2. Who is it? Okay, just give me a moment. I'll be back. I'm back. Sweet. Oh, we have 32 people watching, which is actually expected because, not many people show up after the first day. That's quite common. Besides, it's Monday, understandable. Let's start with this question. Who hates Monday? Press 2 in the chat if you hate Monday. Okay. Sweet. And not many people hate Mondays, yeah? Alright, I'm back. Some interruptions going on. Sorry for that. I'm back. Cool. Alright, so this is day 3. How many of you went through the notes? I mentioned a link inside the notes. So how many of you saw that video? If you saw it, press 1, keep pressing 1. Or if you didn't, you would look at it later. Or you don't want to, press 2. Okay. Alright, so the purpose of that video is, the YouTuber in that video, she mentions a lot of tech terms, especially related to web development, things like Bootstrap, what else, React, Angular, stuff like that. So, it's all just to keep you in that headspace so that you get used to all that vocabulary. Once you get used to things, you'll feel less, what do you say, you'll be less uncomfortable, or should I say you'll be more comfortable with all those terms. And once you're comfortable with the daily language, it gives you some confidence to get started with it whenever you want. So that was the whole purpose. So if you didn't watch it, don't worry, you can totally watch it later, or you can totally ignore that. That's just a normal video. Okay, so should we start the class? Should we? Give me something in the chat. Should we start the class, or? Yeah? Okay. All right, 2 person, 3, 4, 5. All right, okay. 5 people asked for the class, so let's go. So, welcome to devsForFun, day 3. I'm Charan, if you don't know my name. And yeah, it's day 3, by the way. If you missed day 1 and day 2, it's all in your emails if you registered, so go check them out. So, day 3 is going to be your first few lines of code if you haven't written any code before, but I'm pretty sure most of you are used to programming in some way, but that's not a prerequisite. You don't need to know how to code and stuff, so that's totally alright. Just making assumptions now. Okay, before we get started, I have a few things that I'd like to discuss with you people, because this is a class. This is not just any general live stream. I want to make sure that everything that I'm teaching you or talking about reaches you the right way. Okay, so here are a few things, or maybe it's on the slide. Let me see. As you know, or may not, I've sent out a form called update day 1 and day 2. So in this update, it's a casual update, so just checking on you if you're doing good. So that's why I send out these updates, how you doing and all that stuff. So in this update, I just asked you for some casual things like how you're feeling, or you have anything to tell us about the class or about the notes and everything. And I really got some answers from those. I mean, not every one of you did, but I got some answers. All right, before we actually talk about this, how many of you filled the update? Press 1 in the chat if you filled the update. Or press 2 if any of the text on the screen sounds familiar or looks familiar to your update. Alright, sweet. We have people that fill the update. It's great. So first thing we got is, not just the one over there on screen. I have some things written down here on my notebook, so I'm going to talk about those as well. So yeah, my voice and picking up my accent. So yes, point noted from feedback. I am trying to talk slower, if you didn't if you didn't notice. So am I clear enough? If yes, press I don't know, just press 3 or yeah, press 3 if I'm clear. If my voice is better than yesterday, press 4. Not better than yesterday? I don't see no 4s. Because I just bought this fancy little mic just to be sure that my voice is, yeah. Thank you so much. And by the way, you don't have to call me sir. You just call me Charan. That's my name, right? Okay. So I guess it's, yeah. So now it should be better. I'm going to talk slower, and this mic should help me get my voice clear enough to you, which is great. And yeah, hard to follow the tempo. One person wrote this, and yes, I understand. It's really hard to follow, like, once every 2 evenings, I take up like 60 to 90 minutes of your time trying to teach you something. And I understand, university, lots of homework, lots of tasks. I totally get it. That is why, here's something. Like, you don't need to submit the update the very day it's sent in or the next day it's sent in. You can take your time. I don't want to be strict with deadlines, but it would be cool to have strict deadlines to make sure that you people submit things on time. But I understand some of you, or some or the other time, you'll get caught up in something and you'd be worrying about, I didn't submit my update, what's going to happen to it, right? Please don't worry about it. Nothing to worry here. If you really cannot do it, you can totally do it later. We have 3 extra days for each update. So if you receive the update form on November 12th, You can submit it on or before, let me count, 13, 14, 15th, yeah, on or before 15th. So it's totally cool. You can totally submit the update later. That's some flexibility I'm trying to provide here. And also, if you cannot attend the live stream, which I see that many people who showed up yesterday didn't show up today. So yeah, that makes sense, because not every day you can sit on a live stream for 60 to 90 minutes. That makes sense. That's why we have these recordings on this channel. I guess it's called GDSC REC. So yeah, you can come back, watch the recordings, and the links to the recordings are all sent on your emails. So you don't even have to worry about subscribing, watching your YouTube notifications, because I understand social media can be a distraction. At the same time, it's a really great tool. So you gotta admit, everything has its own ups and downs. So you have recordings. You can submit updates until 3 days after it's sent to you. So it's totally cool. So you can take your time on this. I believe 3 days should be flexible enough for you. And yeah, reading the notes. Yeah, I mentioned slow reading in the first day notes. It's because, you know, the slower you read, the better it sinks in. Oh, that's a great note. It's written data on. All right, we'll get back to that later. And yeah, speaking of notes, slow notes guarantees that you remember things for a longer time, because, you know, when you're fast reading, you won't be really remembering everything. I mean, you won't be able to remember everything once you read it, but then again, it helps memory. The slower you read, the better you understand stuff. It helps understanding, it helps remembering. So I totally ask you people to read it slow. And you can read it at your own time. You can take it up anytime. You just don't have to, like I said, there's time for the update, right? So you can read the notes later. Take 3 days, no longer than that, otherwise you'll forget. So, and that's about notes. And yeah, one person asked me, they are able to code, they understand the language, they know it, but they're not able to remember stuff after a long time, which is quite common, you know. Forgetting things is quite natural, it's human. Especially when it comes to programming, it's almost impossible for you to remember everything, because we're not robots or we're not computers. In fact, that is the very purpose of why we actually, you know, created computers, to remember things for us, a lot of them, right? So you don't have to remember stuff. But then again, you might be asking, how would I get through an interview if I don't remember stuff? How would I write something if I don't remember stuff? Here's the thing, when you're practicing or when you're creating a project on your own, this is how things go. If you don't remember something, you don't have to be worried about it. You just go to google.com and search for it. That's it. That's all you need to do. You don't have to remember things. And after doing the same thing for like maybe 5 or 10 times, your brain automatically starts remembering stuff, remembering that one thing that you search for like pretty frequently, because, you know, now you're actually programming your head to think like, you're searching this too frequent, right? So this might be something that you need a lot of time. So your brain's gonna take care of that. Your brain will then remember that stuff. So do not fight your brain trying to force it to remember things. Let it do the thing, okay? Brain has its own thing. It will automatically remember things once you know, keep doing the same thing over and over again. So do not worry about remembering things. Trust your brain. It's gonna help you and get you through, okay? Okay, so far so good. I hope this advice has been useful, because yeah, I read your forms, I read your responses. We have 357 people right now, and I'm reading every single one of your applications. So, okay, if it's good so far, press 1 in the chat and let's move on to the real stuff. And yeah, thank you Rohan for mentioning it's actually day 3 and the video says day 2, if you didn't notice. A lot of you. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that later. So no problem. Okay. You noticed. You should have told me. Come on. You're noticing things and not telling me. That's not good. You gotta tell me stuff. If you notice something weird, please tell me. Alright. Let's move on to this one. Oh, wow. See that thing? HTML. Who's excited? Press 100 in the chat if you're excited about HTML. I know it's a blank screen with white text, but come on, if you're excited, press 100. Oh, that's a lot of numbers now. Okay, so HTML, everyone. HTML, if you didn't know, is one of the most popular programming languages. Agree? It's one of the most popular programming languages. I'm gonna wait until someone says something about what I just said. I'll give you 10 seconds. If you were to reply, please do. HTML is a programming language, I repeat. What? I don't think so. What? HTML is not a programming? No, it is a programming language. Come on. It is. Why? Guys. Alright, I'm teaching the class. Come on. Okay, alright. Some of you actually know that HTML is not a programming language. I'm sorry if I really confused you for a time being. Alright, so yeah, HTML is not a programming language for those of you who didn't know. If you look at the meme, you'd know. Most beginners would actually think like, yo, I know HTML, I'm a programmer now. No, if you learn HTML, you're not a programmer. No, that's not a programming language. So that's not how it works, people. HTML is not a programming language, and learning HTML won't make you a programmer. I'm really sorry if you thought it would. Okay, so let's get to the real stuff. HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. That's a mouthful if you ask me. What's hypertext? What's markup? What are all those terms? Come on. Any idea, guys? What's hypertext? What's markup? What are all those terms? Let's see if anyone can answer. Anyone in the chat? What is hypertext? Or what is markup language? What do those mean? Alright, I'm gonna wait 1 minute for you to type it. So I'm looking at the clock. No one? No answers? That's weird. Okay, no answers, no answers. My mom just ran from behind me. Okay, markup is like adding specific annotations or tags to indicate its structure or wow. That again is a lot of tech terms right there. I'm not I guess designing the pages with text using fonts, colors, styles. Yeah, you're okay. Cool answers. They're pretty cool. I see people know a lot already. But anyway, here's my version of things. Hypertext is basically text that can link to other documents. Like, if you are inside one document, text would basically be anything on that document written, right? Anything written on a document is text. And any text that is linking to another document would be hypertext. I know right now this might be confusing, but when we get to the code, don't worry, it'll be pretty clear. Okay? And markup language, like somebody was saying, Theo said, adding specific annotations or tags or to indicate its structure or formatting. That's a good answer. That's actually right answer in tech terms or complex vocabulary. I'm really not trying to use complex vocabulary. So it's basically a language to mark things. Like, for example, you might have done this in your school or college or university, where we mark things up on our notes. For example, for me, I have different color pens that I would use to mark things up, like red if I don't like it, and blue if it's important, yellow if it's dangerous. I have to remember this stuff at any cost. Stuff like that. You could do something like it. So with HTML, basically that's what we're going to do, and that's why it's called a markup language. All right? So far so good? Theo, I Really appreciate that answer. That's a really good one. I guess assigning the web pages with text using fonts, colors, styles. Maybe. Bharatwaj, you might want to save this answer for later. Save it. Hypertext are links to other pages. Yes, yes. All right, press 1 in the chat if it's all good and we can move on. I need to make sure that you guys are understanding, so I'm going to ask you quite frequently to press 1. Alrighty, cool. Someone says 11. I don't know what that means. Alright, so before we get into this one, let's not just look at me coding code stuff. Let's actually start writing code on your own. All of us, let's write code, okay? Even you should be writing code to understand stuff. Okay, all right. Let me open the browser so that, oh, it's right here. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna open up a website. It's called CodePen. Before I open it over there, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat and pin it. codepen.io. There you go. Don't open it just yet. Okay, that doesn't look like a link now. Rohan, can you just drop the link codepen.io some way and pin it? I'm just gonna introduce people to that in the meantime. So yeah, let's. This will be your home to code. This is where I'm gonna ask you people to write your first lines of code. It's codepen.io, everyone. Do not worry about opening it just yet. We'll drop the link in the chat when you're supposed to open it, and then you can write your own code on it. So yeah, this is CodePen. This is where we are going to write our first HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all the code. So once you get in here, you can just click on Start Coding, and this page opens up with output. And right here, you see this is where you change the layout of the whole page. And I suggest you use this layout because it's quite easier to look the output on one side and the code on the other side. Okay, so right now we're not going to write any CSS or JavaScript, so let's put them down. And this is where we are going to write HTML. Okay, I'm going to write some alien stuff. Don't mind me. Just give me a moment while I write this. All right. Wow. So I just wrote this weird line of code. Okay, how many of you already know HTML? Because I'm trying to teach people that are absolutely alien to HTML. So if you know HTML, I'm not going to talk as if it's from some alien world or something. Press 1 if you already know about HTML. Press 2 if you absolutely have zero idea about HTML. 1 if you know, 2 if you don't. Okay. Lots of people already know about HTML. Okay. No one that doesn't know? Okay, so far no one. Okay, then yeah, that's basically some HTML code I just wrote. Let me explain that code now, okay? I'll just try to explain it to you guys. So this right here is called an element. We'll get to that. So this thing, h1, let's not go into what h1 is or what it all is, okay? We are just going to talk about this. This is how you write HTML code. In HTML, you mark things up between something called a tag. You see this thing, the h1 in these arrow symbols, and this one. Whatever you write between them appears in this way, styled in a certain way. Okay, that's basically it. That's HTML code. Okay, and just to get used to the terminology, because even when you go through a lot of online courses, you're going to hear these terms. So let's actually talk about those terms before we talk about anything else. So the first one is called opening tag, because it kind of like opens up things. And the second one is called closing tag. Okay, that should be obvious since people already know about HTML. So get used to these terms, okay? Opening tag, closing tag, and both of these together are called tags. Both of them together, if you're confused, okay? And the whole thing, oh, that's a typo. Never mind. That's not a tag. That's an element. The whole thing is called an element. My mistake. This is not tag. It's supposed to be element. The whole thing is called an element. So basically, when people talk about code, they're going to talk about an HTML element. So this whole thing is called an element. And the things right here in I don't know what this color is. Yeah, yellow or gold or some sort of brown. These two are called tags. These two together are called tags. That's about HTML. Now it's let's just start writing some code, okay? Let's just start writing some code. Now, where's the link? No one dropped the link? All right, there you go. You have the link. I want you people to get on it, and let's start designing our first web page. I don't think we need any more intro about HTML than this. All right, did you guys open it up? All right, come back here and let me know that you open it up, and I'll show you what we're going to do today. This is going to be simple, and I'll also give you the reason why we're going to keep HTML and CSS really simple, okay? I know you people already know about HTML and this might be boring, but then again, it's just my duty to teach you people just in case, because you signed up for this. Okay, let's get this straight. Do you guys need HTML like really complex, or can we just start building without explanation? Press 1 if we can start building without explanation. Press 2 if you want explanation, because let's not waste our time on things we know. Okay, Hawk says we can start without explanation. Okay, one person needs it, so we'll do it anyway. And also, how many of you made at least one basic website in HTML? Press 3 if you at least made one basic website in HTML. Because I'm assuming that you people didn't know anything about this. So my website that I've just bought you here might look a little not so cool. Oh, so a lot of you did. A lot of you already did. It's pretty cool. Okay, so in that case, but bear with me, guys, because we have one person that needs explanation, so let's just help them, okay? Bear with me until I finish it. I promise this won't be too long. So yeah, this is what we are going to build today. Something like it. Just write things up using HTML. That's all we're going to build today. I know this website looks like really boring, and it looks like as if it's from 1998, but then again, this is going to teach you some really simple yet useful concepts, so that when you're writing your own code, or when you're writing it on your own device or somewhere, this would actually help you, especially for the person that said they needed explanation, and those of you who didn't write any websites. Okay, so is it okay? Is it okay if I go with this example? Are you guys cool? If you're cool, press 1 in the chat so that I know you're cool. You're gonna listen to it. Okay. All right, that's amazing. So supportive. Thank you, guys. So yeah, this is something that we are going to try and build today. Okay. So now I'm going to introduce you to some basic tags in HTML. Let me come back here. Oh, okay, that's bad, that's bad. Open.io. Start coding. You know, every HTML course pretty much goes this way. It's bland. You just need to look at those tags. So first things first, we are going to write. We're going to talk about headings. These things called headings. Okay, let me give you some context. Why headings? And after headings, we have things called paragraphs, and other things called sections. All these stuff. Why is all this stuff familiar yet alien? It's because HTML has started off as a language, a markup language to create documents on the computer. Okay, basically it follows a document kind of approach. So if you go through a book, let me just grab a book over here. Wait a second. Yes, okay. Am I big enough now so I can show you stuff? Alright, keep pressing 1 if you can see me. Okay. So yeah, this is like a random page in a book. Can you see the book by any chance? It's right here. So if you can look right, So if you can look right here, this page, it's something. It says something in a different style of text, right? It's different from other text in the book. It's huge. It's bold. It stands out. And it's called a heading. Okay, so overall HTML is inspired from this, a book or a document, stuff like that. Okay, so that is why we have headings. Headings are the first thing that we're going to talk about. Oh, let me show you something else. And for some reason we have multiple types of headings in HTML, and they would be stuff like this. Okay, look at the index page, or grab a book in your house, see the index page. So you look right here, this is a big heading, that means it's the main one, or this one's the bigger one. It's like H1, remember what I'm saying, this is the first heading, and this is like the second type of heading, and the other ones are like the third type of heading. Okay, and now let's look at how we would write this first heading, second heading, and third type of heading in code in HTML. Alright, okay, let me minimize my video. Got it, done. No. So first heading, right? A book has a heading something like, the first heading would be written as H1. You write it like this, okay? Remember the opening tag and the closing tag, just in case. Let me just, opening tag and closing tag, everyone. You write it, and then you write the text, whatever you have in your head over here. For example, let's pretend that I'm going to write a book, and my book is going to be called HTML is not a programming language. So yeah, that's going to be the title of my book, and that is why it's the biggest heading. And then we have H2, which would be the name of my first chapter. And the first chapter would be, let's call it chapter 1 just to be sure. Okay, chapter 1. You see, you know the difference between the sizes between these two headings? It's because HTML is actually doing some stuff behind the scenes for you. When you write H1, it's going to give you something really big, and when you write H2, it's going to give you something small. And as you reduce as you increase the number on the H tag, you get smaller and smaller things. Start. Look at that. You see, it gets smaller. and it goes all the way down to H6. And H6 is the only, I mean, it's the end of heading tags. That's all. Oh, where did I write it? H6 is like the last one. So if you write H7, you won't see anything different. H7 is not part of HTML. Okay, so that's headings, everyone. So are we good with headings? Those who didn't know, please press 1. Are we good with headings? Okay, I see some ones. Amazing. And I notice, like, some of you might be thinking, okay, this is like huge text and this one's like small text, so I'm gonna write my content in H3. No, that's not how it works. Please don't use heading tags for writing content. Okay, now that you have a H1, let's write content in some other tag, because we have tags to write content. Okay, and for that we have, okay, let's get back to our book analogy. We have headings, and what else do we have? We have paragraphs in books. You know, paragraphs, lots of stuff. So that's where everything goes. That's where all the content goes. Just like that in HTML, we have a P tag, a tag like this. Is it visible, or should I enlarge my screen? Okay, this should be better if you're not able to see. So this is where all the content inside, I mean the text content inside an HTML page goes. Okay, paragraph is where you write stuff. And let me show you something else, because right now paragraph, okay, but we don't have anything in our head to write down, right? We cannot waste time on thinking about what to write inside if you're testing. So for that, I'm just going to use a placeholder text. You might want to keep a note of this website. This is where you get placeholder text, because not all the time when you're doing something you can actually write some things down, right? So lorem ipsum comes to the rescue. You can just copy some text from over here. Oh yeah, here it goes. Let's press generate and it should give you some text. Yeah, this is usually I mean, you know, when people are designing websites, they cannot really fill things up all the time. They cannot have their heads thinking about what to write here. Okay, so that's why for the time being they use placeholder text to take up that space that they expect to, and boom, when you paste it right here, and there you go, there you see a paragraph coming in. And like I was saying, the key things that you need, the key thing that you have to note here is the paragraph tag. So if you need another paragraph, all you need to do is just drop in another P tag and create another paragraph. That's it. That's about paragraphs, people. I know it doesn't sound like a lot and this might be boring. Let's pick a pace now. Let's do some things that are actually interesting. So now it looks like a book, does it? Does it look like a book now? If yes, press 2, because I already have a lot of ones in here. Okay, it's like I'm forcing you people to press 2, asking you to think like this is looking like a book. I'm sorry if I'm doing that. Okay, so that's paragraph tag. So if you want to add paragraphs, you add the paragraph tag. Once again, it looks like, let me just write that down just another time, just to be sure, like this. Okay, and let's talk about something like, you know, let's first of all, let's take this extra paragraph out and let's say you wanted to add a new line in the same paragraph, and you press enter right here. Okay, it gets onto the new line, but you see no difference over here, right? So how do you get things inside the same paragraph onto a new line? And for that, we have a special tag called break. Now you see the output. When I write these two letters inside these arrow braces, the text comes down just like that. Okay, and you might be wondering, where is the closing tag? So this is a special kind of tag that doesn't have a closing tag. Okay, it doesn't the break tag or the BR tag, it doesn't have a closing tag. So yes, there are tags with closing tags, tags that don't have closing tags, and one of them is this. There are more such tags. You can explore them later. I'll drop them in the notes. So like I was saying, let's get back to designing our website. Okay, so our website is going to be about you. Okay, now that you know paragraphs and now that you know break and heading, I guess it's a pretty good time for you to go ahead and try. Alright, so give open CodePen. Like, where's the link? Do we have the link? Yeah, I'm gonna pin the link right now. Open CodePen, or don't if you are like super familiar with this stuff, or if you want to try, open CodePen and write down a heading inside of it, inside the code in the HTML page, and then write a little bit about yourself in the paragraph. Or you can use this website, libsyn.com. Note it down, libsyn.com, and copy some text over and paste it right here. You can totally fill things up later. Let's just give you 2 minutes for that. And in the meantime, I'll talk to people that actually know about HTML. Okay, you don't panic if you don't know about HTML. You can just go ahead and try this. And in the meantime, let's talk to people who know HTML. So people that know HTML, here's a question for you. How do you create a horizontal line in HTML? Drop it in the chat real quick. HR, okay, right answer. Hawk got it first. And here's another question. What should I ask you people? It's hard. HTML doesn't have really tough questions. How do you add hyperlinks? Or what is a hyperlink? What is a hyperlink, guys? Okay, I don't see any answers. Might be taking time. Okay. I hope, guys, you're back. If you're back, it's cool. So if you're not, please come back. Please. Oh, no. Somebody said href. No, that's not how you add links. A link to a document or website. Oh, that we'll talk about. A document or website. Okay, let's clear things up, people. A website is basically a document on the web. Okay, whenever I said document, I mean a web page or a website. Websites are basically documents on the web. So yeah. Okay, somebody said href. That's wrong. That we'll talk about now. Right, I don't know what you wrote in your code. Whatever it is, please come back. You'll go back again, so please come back to the class and let me write things down for you. So I'm gonna write about myself. Hi, Charan. I teach at devsForFun. Cool. So it could be something like this. It could be as simple as this. Okay, I teach at devsForFun. Okay, and now let's talk about the thing I just mentioned. How do you add hyperlinks? Hyperlinks are basically links to other websites. So how do you add one? This is how you add one. For this, we actually have a special tag. It's called the anchor tag, and it's written like this. And this one has a closing tag, by the way. Okay, and you enclose your text inside of it, And also this thing has something called href. So if you look at it, this is how you add hyperlinks. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm turning the devsForFun text into a link to another website. What website? I'll tell you in a bit. Okay, so you can actually do this. Oh, I see a lot of wrong answers coming in. So yeah, people that answered href tag, source tag, src tag. Now that's not the way you do it. This is how you do it. You use the anchor tag or a tag, and you give the website link over here between these double quotes. You give the link to the website. Right now I'm just going to type it in because that's all. So now if I press on this link, what's going to happen is this will take me to the website I requested for, right? So that's another document from the document I just came from. I went from here to here just by clicking on the text devsForFun. All of it because of this anchor tag. Okay? Is it cool? If yes, press one in the chat so we can talk about more stuff. All right, sweet. And yeah, guys, I just showed you some blog website that we're going to make, but no, we're not going to make it because I see a lot of people actually know HTML. So I'm going to skip that part and leave it as an assignment for you. Don't worry, I'm going to send you the details. I'm going to send you the screenshots, how to make it, all the instructions in the notes, so you can try that out yourself. Okay. For now, let's just cover things up. Besides, we have a lot to cover, and there's only like not much of a time left. Don't worry, I'm not gonna rush things. You're gonna learn stuff. Okay. So now I said my blog. I'm Charan. Pretty cool. But then again, it would be fun if I had some image right here, right? And that's how you add images. I mean, this is how you add images. You open a tag, image, and I just saw someone mention src. This is where it goes, src. Oh, and that's it. Image tag doesn't have a closing tag, by the way. Okay? And yes, right now you don't see any image because image in this source, or src means source, this expects something here inside the double quotes, just like href. Okay? So for that, we can just go to, I don't know, let's put in a cat picture. A cute cat. Who like cats? Not a cat guy, but this one looks pretty cool. And you can bring in any image. So right now I'm going to copy this image. How do you copy images and bring over here? I'll show you. So when you click, right click on this one, you see this right here. Copy. Oh no, not this one. Scroll down and you'll find this. Copy image address. Okay, this is basically the address where the image lies. So we're going to take that and paste it right here and see if it works. Oh, it did. And that's how you add images. Right, how boring is this? Like right now, 1 to 5. Give me a number, 1 to 5. How boring is it? All of this is. I'm looking at the chat. One to 5 people. Not boring? If not boring, give me 5. Or if it's boring, give me 1. Three. Okay, mid. I get it. 3 is the safe number. You don't make me feel bad, and you don't show yourself up saying that it's bored. Okay, I get it. 2.5. Now we're going decimals. Pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, this is how you add images. If you didn't know, the image tag, It doesn't have a closing tag, by the way, and it has this thing called source, src, and these are some things you might have to remember. I'm sorry, but yeah, you have to remember this stuff, and you'll have a detailed explanation over these on your what do you say, notes. I'm going to send everything in notes, so I'm not going to get into much detail on all the tech jargon. Okay, all right, that's pretty cool. My website has a heading, an image, and text, and a hyperlink, which is pretty much a real website now, because it has everything basic that a basic website would ever have. Okay, and these are like the most important tags, the most used tags that you'll be coming across all the time. And I'm not going to teach you more tags other than this. I'm going to leave it to you. I'm going to give you guides. I'm going to write things down for you people to study yourself and do it on your own. I'm not going to explain all kinds of tags to you. Okay, it's because I don't want this program to be focused on HTML. Like I've been saying, we only have one day for HTML, one day allocated for HTML, not more than that. It's because we don't need anything more than that. Okay, so that's why I'm restricting HTML and CSS. Like I said, I already told you people, if you didn't know, that this course won't teach you how to make beautiful looking websites or web pages. We are going to focus on functionality and all that stuff. And here, for some motivation, I'm going to show you what we are going to make. If you don't, you might be thinking, okay, you're not going to teach me complete HTML, you're not going to teach me complete CSS, then what am I going to make? I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you what we're going to make, just so you know. You might get interested in the course all the more. Again, I know it's boring. So here are a few things that I made that you people might be interested in. I'll show you this one. Like, you know, this one looks pretty bland. It's nothing cool about it. Okay, set height, set width, but the design is definitely not cool about it. But look at this. It says paint your own picture. Okay, so like right now I can literally paint my picture. This is like an MS Paint I made myself. See, it works. If you're wondering what I'm drawing, I'm trying to draw a house. And what's cool about it, you guys will be making this upcoming in the coming days. Okay, these are the kind of things that we're gonna make, because I said learn how to code. You need to learn how to code. Write code in an actual programming language, which is JavaScript. That is why I don't want the focus of this course on HTML or CSS. So bear with me for today if it's boring. And yeah, that's about it. That's why I'm not going to teach you all of HTML and CSS. Is it okay, people? Is it fine? Are you okay with this? If yes, press 100 so that I know. And in the meantime, I'll show something else. Another thing that you'll be building in this program or course. Okay, give me 500 if you like this idea of me not teaching you HTML and CSS, diving into JavaScript and giving you all the important stuff. If you like it that much, please give me a 500. What do you think about this idea? Is this idea 500? Okay, sweet. One person likes it. Hawk says 500. Great. All right. In the meantime, I'll show you something else. This is also one more thing I'm gonna make you people build. So this says green screen image editor, right? Yeah, I made this myself, and you'll make it too. Okay. So I'll just show you how it works. You know, just to be okay. Give me a moment. I don't have the images on this computer. Let me bring them from elsewhere so that you know. Just give me a moment, because this is pretty cool. You guys might like it. I'm not sure how many of you heard of the term green screen. Have you? Okay. 50 times 10. That's creative. That's creative. Great to see that. Oh. If you're wondering, I'm just trying to save these images in a place so that, you know, I can open it up right when I need it. Save image 2.jpg. Alright, sweet. Now I have the images ready. Let me show you this. So I'm going to choose a file from my downloads, let's say. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, you see this one? This is a skydiver with the helmet on and a green screen all over. Okay. Let's upload one more picture. How about we put the skydiver in space? You getting it? Are you getting what I'm about to do? If yes, press 1. Skydiver in space. Are you getting it? Yes, yes. Let's do what you thought. Let's merge them. What? It worked. Skydiver is now in space. Now how cool is that? Is it cool? Is it cool, guys? I know some people might think, what's so much about it? I can do it in my app. But imagine writing the code for this. Just imagine that you made your own green screen image editor. I hope you're beginners and you don't know how to do this. Are you? Nothing in the chat, nothing in the chat. You're not going to give me anything if I don't ask you, people. Okay, give me a moment. I'm facing some stuff right here. I know there's a lot of noise coming your way, so I'm gonna fix it. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. This is cool. Right, one person says it's cool. Okay, others, you don't think it's cool? If it's not cool, I mean, if you don't think it's cool, there's a great chance that you might be bored for the entire duration of this course because lots of boring stuff coming up, so yeah. And yeah, so this is why I'm not focusing on HTML and CSS because, like you can see, there's not much of HTML going right here. It's just a bunch of p tags and h1 and that's all. And there's not much of CSS either. That's it, right? So I'm just going to leave you on the basics and give you some really cool notes so that you can work on those yourself. Okay, so I guess that's up with HTML, and we did spend a lot of time on HTML. Now let's talk about some, where's this thing called CSS? Yes, that's one thing we can talk about. Any idea what CSS is? Like, I understand a lot of you already know, so what do you think CSS is? Any answers? No answers? Okay. No one knows what CSS is. Oh, okay, I'm getting some now. Okay. It is used to style a web page. Yes, we can add animations and all that stuff. Yeah, that's right. Okay, for some reason you people know, a lot of you know CSS better than HTML, which is pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, CSS, it's called Cascading Style Sheet, and CSS is a programming language. You heard that? You hear that, people? Yes, CSS is basically a programming language, just like HTML. Or so anyone's gonna give me anything about CSS in the chat? What is CSS? Or can we agree on that it's a programming language? No, it's not. It is. If it's not, what else could it be? Okay, let's not waste more time on that. So CSS is a style sheet language or styling language. Style sheet language is the term for CSS because we write styles for sheets of documents on the web, which are websites. So that's what it is. Yes, it is a style sheet language. Bravo. And okay, so this is something like, this is some CSS right here. Okay, this is how usually CSS code would look like. Okay, let's go through what each of these mean. Okay, just so you know, when you're talking about CSS in general, you might have to understand these terms. So right here, if you see, this right here is called the selector. Selector is basically the name of the tag in HTML. Okay, it's basically that. The name of the tag in HTML is a selector. We also have other types of selectors, which I'll give you in the notes. Right now I'm not going to talk about them. Okay, and that's called a selector, and that is called a property, and this is called a value. Because for a selector, for a tag, you are trying to give one of its properties some value that you like. For example, h1 is like let's say h1 is like what do you say, a notebook. Okay, h1 is basically a notebook. Let's call h1 a notebook, and notebooks are basically white in color. Okay, but you want to give this notebook a different color. That's why you write it down like this. So I'm going to select the h1 notebook, and its property of color is usually white, which I don't like. So I want a red notebook. That is why I'm giving the color as red, the value of red, so that I get a red notebook. So that's basically it. Okay, so that's why it's called a value. That's why it's called a property. And yeah, those are the things you need to remember about CSS, or at least for now. Okay, so let's actually write some code. And also, as you may have already noticed, I'm not trying to teach you everything. Oops, looks like we lost our code. Fine, that's fine, that's fine. Let me just log in. You can actually create your own account. You can sign up with Google or sign up with GitHub if you have. So I'm gonna log in with GitHub for now. Oh, it's not gonna let me. All right, never mind. I'm just gonna write some normal things. Let's start coding again. Let's type this in. Let's try exactly what we did back in the slide. We had a heading. H1, this is what we had, right? Now we have unlocked a new superpower. It's called CSS, and this is where we're going to write our CSS, at least in CodePen, to give a color to this hello world. Okay, so like I mentioned, H1 is the selector. It's used to select the element that we want. In this case, it's H1, so H1 is what we're going to write, and open curly braces or flower brackets if you want to call it. Press enter, and let's give it the color red like we did. And there you go. That's how CSS works. You write the style, and that's how you do it. And also, there are other ways to writing CSS, because I've seen a lot of tutorials and a lot of people write CSS in different places, and I believe it's important that you identify these different places. Okay, so what you just did is you wrote CSS outside HTML, right? So you can actually write CSS inside HTML, and that too in two ways. And the first way would be using the style tag. Yeah, we have a tag to style, and it has opening tag, it has another closing tag, and inside the style tag we can write h1, and this time, just to see if it works, let's give it a color blue. Oh, sorry, I did something bad. You see this? Now that I wrote this color blue, it turns blue. This is another way of writing CSS, okay? And there's another way, like I was saying. You can actually write it right here like this, which is pretty crazy. And it turns green. If you remember this correctly, this is the kind of syntax that we used to write the A tag, okay? The anchor tag or the image tag, just like that. So these things, these values, other than the name of the tag, are called attributes, okay? They're called attributes, or you can call them just like properties. Like, you see this? This is a property and this is a value. In HTML, the same thing. The property is called an attribute, and this whole thing right here is called and this whole thing in green is called a value, okay? So did anybody notice something weird that just happened here? The text color going weird. Did anybody notice anything? Let's see if anybody noticed anything. Oh, CSS style got overlapped by inline styling. Yes. Okay, not many people noticed it. If you didn't notice, right here I said the color is red, but it's no longer red. And then again I tried to say it's blue, and it's no longer blue. But last time I just mentioned the color green, and yes, it's green. Yes, like Japan says, yeah, Isaac says, it's inline. That's why priority goes to inline. So these three ways have names for these things. Let me write down those names in a paragraph. So the first thing I just did here, this is called external CSS, okay? This is called external CSS, writing CSS outside HTML, okay? And let's make a line. Oops. And this right here, you wrote style tag, and then you wrote HTML code, CSS code, and that's called embedded CSS. I know this doesn't look like much. Why do I even have to know about this? It might feel like it, but then again, these are some really weird things that you would be using when you get into like complex JavaScript frameworks and everything. Trust me, this will be really handy. If you don't know about this, you will definitely struggle then. It's for the future, okay? It's for the future. And the last style that we wrote right here, this is inline because it's literally in a line. So that's why it's called inline CSS. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I planned for CSS for you people. Well, let's not. Okay, so yeah, you can actually change a lot of things with CSS. It could be also your font. Like you see these curves and everything that we have right here. We don't have to do this. We can actually change the font. And that's going to be a challenge. Go figure it out. How do you change fonts? Okay, that's not much, but this is how you write CSS and everything, and all those properties and everything I'm going to send in the notes, because covering it all in a live stream would be crazy, because 90 minutes, guys, literally 90 minutes. You cannot really learn everything in 90 minutes. So I'm going to send in the notes. Please go through it. It's not just notes. It's exercises for you people to try. Okay, I have a lot of things planned on that notes that I'm going to send out. So please go through, because this is just me talking about stuff and it's not going to teach you much. So I want you people involved. So when I send in the notes, please check it out. And oh, did I just bring up? Yeah. And do the homework. And like I said, you got 3 days, and HTML and CSS are not things that we need to be worried about a lot, because I showed you the cool things that we're going to do anyways, right? So it doesn't involve much of it. So basic practice is enough, and I'm going to send in the practice exercises for you people. And if you have any doubts, just feel free to email us, okay? Or drop a tweet and tag us in there, or drop a LinkedIn post and tag us in there, or you can come up to one of our posts on our social media and comment your doubts. We'll be all over it, and we'll talk to you. And we're actually getting a Discord channel ready for you people, so it should be out by maybe sometime tomorrow. We're going to bring in the Discord where we can actually talk and you people can network and everything. Okay, so that's about HTML and CSS. And for today, any questions? I'm up for any questions. I'm looking at the chat now, so if you have any questions, please. I know it's been boring today, right? Even I didn't feel very good teaching this stuff, because most of you already knew about this, and I know how it goes. Having to listen to the same class that you've been listening for ages. So yeah, any questions, anything, any questions about today's session or yesterday's session, or about the program itself, or what do you want to know? No questions, really? Okay, here's a question. I know we went up like 13 minutes extra today. Oh, what is SCSS? It's actually, in technical terms, if you want to know, I'm just going to give you the tech terms because I didn't prepare a simpler version for this. So SCSS is basically a preprocessor for CSS. Where, like, you know, like I was saying, CSS is definitely not a programming language, but if you were to use programming language kind of things inside CSS, you could write much more efficient CSS in a lot less time, and a lot easier. And CSS is basically, you know, in general, CSS, if you write plain CSS, it would be like hundreds of lines of code just for styling stuff, okay? And it's really hard if you wanted to edit stuff. If you ever wanted to make changes to that CSS, you have to scroll all the way down or all the way up and look where you want to change and everything, right? So SCSS comes into play like right here, okay? This is where it actually is useful. SCSS offers you all kinds of programming features like variables. Of course you have it in CSS, but then again, a lot of things like if statements and writing multiple styles, all in like a lot less lines of code. Less lines of code means easier to maintain, because maintenance is pretty important in the world of programming, okay? So that's where SCSS comes in. Yes, it was interesting. Thank you, Rohan. Yes, yeah, the full form of it is definitely sassy cascading style sheets. It's pretty sassy because it's got all kinds of crazy stuff that CSS usually wouldn't have. So yeah, it's also, sometimes you might come across SCSS as SAS, SASS, but I don't really recommend using the word SAS because it also has other meanings to it, like software as a service and whatnot, all that stuff. And yeah, how hard is JavaScript? Very hard, very hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard, because nothing is easy, if you ask me. It all depends on the way you look at it. If you're determined to learn it, nothing can stop you, but I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely hard, because till this day, I'm still learning JavaScript. And the more you spend time with JavaScript, the more you learn it. That's a lot. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, JavaScript is hard, and it's all a matter of spending time on it. That's it. It's not impossible. It's not like you cannot do it. You can totally do it. No one's gonna you're unstoppable if you learn JavaScript. That's it. JavaScript is definitely hard. Anything else, people? And I hope I answered your questions for what is SCSS and what is JavaScript. And Rohan, thank you for bringing that answer up. Any other questions? Anything else you want to know? And yeah, some of you asked about the socials of mine. I just dropped them in yesterday's notes, so if you want to know, go check them out over there. Any questions? Any questions? None? Okay, how many of you are yet to have dinner? Like you didn't eat in the night? Did you send the note? Where did you send the notes? I sent the notes on your email. If you didn't receive, I sent it. Oh yeah, one person wrote like I didn't get the notes. It might be because of, I mean, it's not because of like that. Like, you know, the notes link is actually okay. Let me show you if I can. Can I see it? Where can I see it? Let me take a screenshot of things. Let me show you on this one. I'm just trying to bring up a picture so that you can see. Alrighty. Ah yes, here you go. This is the email that you should have received. Did you? Okay, those of you who said where's the notes or you didn't receive the notes, can you please confirm that you received this email? Press 1 if you received this email. Because a lot of people actually saw those notes and they actually read through it, which is pretty cool. Yep. Nothing link in read it. Okay, that's weird. Let me check that. Let me check that. There is a link to read it. I'm not sure why is it not working. You didn't get the email? It must be because you might have joined. Oh, I'm not sure if I remember, but yeah. Okay, you people didn't get the emails. That must be why. Okay. Either ways, since you attended, here's something that I'm going to do. I'm just going to drop the link in the chat. Yeah, that's the link to the day 2 notes. Save it somewhere, okay? Just so you don't miss. Because we'll figure that out. Emails take a lot of time because we have a lot of emails coming in. We are still working on managing emails. This is like our first time. So we're going to look into the email troubles. And also, please add our email devsForFun.team@gmail.com as your contact, because we've been getting reports that our emails are actually ending up in spam. If you're wondering why they're ending up in spam, it's because we're trying to drop in links, right? So Gmail usually thinks that if it has some weird unhosted website link in it, it might consider it spam. It might consider it unsafe, but trust us, all the links that we share are safe. Okay, so you don't have to worry about anything. It was on the spam section. Oh yes, like I was saying. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's we see emails ending up in spam. Unfortunately, we cannot do anything on our side, so please mark our emails not spam and save it and as your contact. If you know, you know. Or you want me to show how to save an email? Okay, I guess I cannot do that. That might reveal some personal information. So, okay, please add our email as a contact. Okay, just so you know, you cannot miss it. Okay, is the note only from day 2 and now, or from day 1 until now? It's day 1 and day 2. Basically, day 1 and day 2 are the same because we don't have a stream on day 2. And also, odd number of days we have streams, even number of days we don't have streams. It's all you working on yourself. Okay, so that's how it works. And the notes is all about day 1 and day 2. Yeah, I only RSVP to this stream. Maybe that's why I didn't get one. Also, RSVPing is not just the only thing that you need to do. You should also be going out to our website and fill up the Google form, which is still open, and register over there. Only then will you get emails about the updates and all the the resources, updates, and notes. So yeah, please register on our website. Okay, spin this one. If you don't have the website link, let me just drop that as well in the chat. And there you go. That's where you need to register if you didn't register. And trust me, the next sessions might not be as boring as this, because it's going to be real programming, and programming is definitely fun. I believe because you showed up on the stream, I believe you guys are curious about programming. And as long as you're curious, programming stuff is not going to be boring. Trust me on that one. Okay? So that's all for the questions. Any more questions? If you have any more questions, tech support, I'm right here. We'll take 2 more minutes. If no questions, let's end this session. And if you're wondering why are we 23 minutes extra than the day 1, like I mentioned, if you weren't in the stream yesterday, I already mentioned that the stream can last anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, okay, based on what we're going to be talking about on the day. Okay, so that's how it goes. So any more questions? If no questions, we can totally wind up. Wow, it's really late at night. No questions? No questions? Okay, press 1 in the chat if you don't have any questions, so that I know we can move on. Okay. All right, so I guess that's all for the day. Yeah, that's all for today. That's all I have. I hope this has been useful in some way, at least to some of you, because I see a lot of you already knew what HTML was. Maybe I should have done a better survey on what people actually needed, so that we could save a day. Okay, anyways, I hope it was fun. It was definitely fun talking to you all. And I know it's pretty late. It's better you get to bed now, take some rest. Big day tomorrow. It's a Tuesday, another day in the week. Lots of things, university, college, and whatnot. I know that you guys have a lot to catch up on. All right, all the best for life. I'll see you on day 5 again, with JavaScript this time. Okay, see you all. Bye bye. Good night, or good evening if it's UK. Thank you so much. I guess that's it. Should I put on some music? Enjoyed it. Thank you. Means a lot. Bye everyone. See you.